Hi guys, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make this Lacy Ripple Child Cape pattern. The yarn I used for this is medium worsted weight yarn, which is Australia is 10 ply, and each skein is 230 meters or 251 feet and 100 grams each skein. And I used 2, but it was really tight, so even if you're going to make this size, I recommend go ahead and get 3. If you're going to make even bigger, then you can get more, but just to be on the safe side, get at least 3 skeins of whatever color that you want to make. I also did my border in the same color, so I took all the skeins just for this. So if you're going to use another color, maybe for the ruffle, maybe 2 will be enough for you. Also, I used a 5mm hook or a size H hook, and I got a couple of beads that I found on a rubber band that I've had forever, and the kind that you can tie and hold like this, and I used them. But you can use any kind of weight that you have around the house, or I'm sure you can buy some gems or something, or just make tassels on the end. To make this cape, I chained 150 chains. If you want to change the size of it, the multiples of this stitch is 8 plus 7. Okay, the multiples of this stitch is 8 plus 7. So I went ahead and I chained multiples of 8, and now all I have to do is do plus 7, and I'll be ready to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now if you want to make the child size that I made, then just chain 150, and that's it. So for row 1, double crochet in the 7th chain from the hook. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the 7th chain here, you want to do a double crochet. Then you want to chain 1 and skip 1. And in the next stitch, you want to do a double crochet. Then chain 1, skip 1, and then do a double crochet. And you're going to continue this until you get to your very last stitch of your row. So at the end of row 1, you should end perfectly with a chain 1 and a double crochet in the very last stitch. So for row 2, you want to chain 3 and turn. For the very first, in this very first double crochet where the chain 3 is coming out of, you want to do 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then using this very first space that we have, this big old space here, we're going to start there, and then we're going to go into the double crochet in the next one. Let me go a little closer. Lay this flat. We're going to be doing a decrease, and how you do that is we're going to be using the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. So you're going to be using this space, then the double crochet, this space, the double crochet, this space, the double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then we're going to end in that space. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're going to end in that space. So you want to begin in that very first space. So we're going to be doing double crochet decrease. So go ahead and yarn over. Insert your hook in that very first space. Pull up a loop. Yarn over, only pull through 2. Then yarn over, go into the double crochet. Pull up a loop, whoops. Then yarn over, only pull through 2 loops. Then yarn over, go into the next big space, pull up a loop. Yarn over, only pull through 2 of those loops. 4 loops on your hook now. Yarn over, go into the double crochet, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next space, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next double crochet, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, 7 loops on your hook. Then yarn over, go into this next space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You should have 8 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 8 loops, and then chain 1. Your very next stitch is a double crochet. In this double crochet, you want to put 7 double crochets all worked into that double crochet. So yarn over, go into that double crochet, and just start your 7 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to do just like we did before, starting with our first big space here. So yarn over, go into that first space, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Then we'll be using the double crochet next, then the big space, then the double crochet next. Keep doing this in your double crochet and your chain 1 spaces until you have 8 loops on your hook, and you should always be ending in a space. So I'm going to do this last space here, then I'm going to count 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, 8 loops on my hook, pull through all 8 loops and chain 1. And then again, this very next double crochet, you're going to work 7 double crochets in that 1 double crochet. So continue to repeat this all the way down your row, and when you get back, and when you get back, I'm going to show you how to end this row. Okay, I just did my decrease. Now in this very last space here, I want to put 4 double crochets. One, 2, 3, and 4. So that is the end of row 2. Okay, for row 3, you want to chain 3 and turn. Now this first chain 3 counts as the first double crochet, chain 1. So now you want to skip the next stitch, and then the stitch after that, do a double crochet, chain 1. And then you can go right into the center hole of the decrease if you want, but I prefer to go into that stitch right beside it. Oops, I forgot to yarn over, because it just feels like it gives me more strength for that stitch. Chain 1. We're doing just like we did the very first row, chaining 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, only we're working in the stitches this time. So the very next stitch here, you want to skip on your shell here, and then in the next one you want to do a double crochet. So not the first double crochet of your shell, but the second double crochet of your shell. Double crochet, chain 1. Then you're going to skip the next double crochet here on your shell, and then the top center shell, the very next one, you put a double crochet, chain 1. I have a picture as well on my site that shows you close up where to put your stitches if you find it difficult to follow along in this video. So the very next stitch, you want to skip that one, and then in the following, the one right before the last one, you'll double crochet in. So then you'll skip this last double crochet, and then the center cluster here, and then to the left of the cluster there's a stitch that I like to use, and I'm going to put my double crochet there. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet in the shell, and double crochet, chain 1. Skip the next, then the top of your shell, double crochet, chain 1. Skip the next, double crochet, chain 1. Skip the big stitch in the center of your decrease, and then the next one, double crochet, chain 1. Skip the next one, and then do double crochet, whoops, chain 1. And then you'll skip of this chain, you'll skip the very first stitch, and then in that top of that chain you'll put a double crochet, and then that will end row 3. After this, the pattern repeats row 2 and row 3. So the last 2 rows will repeat over and over again. And I did it for a total of 21 rows. So starting from this first row, 1, 2, 3, and then I counted until I had a total of 21. And then I stopped. You want to end, if you want to do it bigger, just end on an odd number. So just make sure that your rows aren't even, because it's important for the border that we're going to be putting on here. Okay, it's a repeat, but I'm going to go ahead and take you through one more row. So for row 4, you'll want to chain 3 and turn. Now you'll put 3 double crochets in that very first double crochet of your row, just like we did back on row 2. Then we'll be doing our decrease. So using our very first big space here, you'll yarn over, you'll pull up a loop through that, yarn over, go into the double crochet. You'll keep doing this until you have 8. So I usually just count. So this was my 3rd one, 4th, 5th, going into my chain 1 spaces and double crochets, 6th, 7th. I just count my 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, I'm at 2, 4, 6. Okay, I have 8. And I ended in my space here. That was a clue. So then you pull through all 8 loops, chain 1, and then the very next double crochet will be 7 double crochets. 2, oops, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then again, using this big old space right here, you'll start your decrease again. So go ahead and repeat this pattern for your row, and I'll show you how to end your row. Okay, I just did my decrease, and now I have my chain 3 here at the end, and you can go into the middle chain if you want, or just in the big space. I'm going to go ahead and do it in a chain, and I'm going to put 4 double crochets worked in this last space. And that will be the end of row 4. And then again after this you can chain 3, and then you'll skip the next stitch and you'll be putting a double crochet here, then you'll chain 1, skip the, it's weird to show you from the back. This is going to be the chain 3, skip 1, then you'll be doing double crochet, chain 1, skip the big one, skip the middle center hole again and putting it next to it, chain 1, skip the next, and you'll be continuing this pattern over and over again. Okay, next up we're going to be making the ties that will tie this thing on the top. So go ahead and get your yarn again. You want to make sure that you start your slip knot a little bit further down, because you're going to be using this tail later to tie your weight of whatever. I use the beads, you can use whatever you want, but use the little, leave a little tail for that reason. Now we need to do 80 single crochet foundation stitches. How to do a single crochet foundation stitch is you'll chain 2, and then the very first chain you'll go back into it and pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook. You'll yarn over, only pull through one of those loops, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over this loop, single loop you just did just now will be the stitch you'll be using in a minute. So if you want, you can go ahead and hold it there with your finger. Now you're going to be making the single crochet part of the stitch, so you'll yarn through and pull through both loops. That's the single crochet. Now you want to go back in through that. On the side it looks like there's a small loop which is part of the single crochet, and then this bigger loop which is the chain. You'll go into there, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through one loop. You can hold that if you want. Yarn over, pull through both loops. Now go back into that loop again, pull up a, I think it's a stitch. Go into that chain and then pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through one loop to create that chain. Put your finger there if you want. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That creates a single crochet. Now you want to again go in through that chain stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one of the loops, then yarn over, pull through both. And you want to continue to do this until you have a total of 80 or the length that you desire. Okay, I got this little sample of the stitch where I can show you. The reason why I did 21 rows is because I wanted the very last row to be a double crochet chain 1. So even if you did more than 21 rows, just make sure that your very last row is the double crochet chain 1. Skip 1, because these double crochets you're going to be weaving in and out of. So once you have your single crochet foundation stitches done, you can start weaving it in. And I was going up through one of the spaces and then down through the other, and just keep weaving it back and forth through the double crochets. And by the way, when you end this, when you get your 80, you want to make sure you also leave a tail on this side too. So when you chain 1 and you cut your yarn, make sure you leave some tail on this end as well, because you want to attach some kind of weight to it. So go ahead and continue to weave this in and out, and then I'm going to be showing you how to do your ruffle bit all the way around. Let me go ahead and just remove that so it doesn't get in the way for now. Okay, for the ruffle or the border, and attach your yarn. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to attach it on the left side, and you want the wrong side facing you. So this is the front side, so you want the back side facing you. And then I crochet to the right, and in this video, if you're watching it left-handed, it's confusing. But you want to attach it in the corner, go in the direction that you crochet in. So you want to start in this very big space here on the end, and attach your yarn on the side of it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a slip stitch, then I'm going to chain 3. Now to do this border, it's important how you start it. The reason why I wanted it to also be off on odd is because it's important that you land on a specific stitch here in the corner. So I'm going to share the link to the chart, and you can see what I'm talking about, where each of these will have 2 ways of doing the stitch. If you're following it with the chart, just remember you don't want to start with the way the chart shows. You want to start the way I'm showing in this video. So you're going to chain 3, and you're going to skip this first double crochet area. You're going to be working in the next big space, and you want to put a double crochet here. You're going to be putting a V-stitch. So you'll do a double crochet, chain 3, and then a double crochet, all worked into that one big old space right there. Then you want to move over again. You're going to be skipping this big space here and working into the big space, and you want to do a double crochet decrease. So you're only going to be pulling through 2 loops, yarning over, going right back into that stitch, pulling up a loop, pulling through 2. Now you have 2 incomplete double crochets here, 3 loops on your hook, pull through all 3 loops, then chain 3, and working in the same space you'll do what we just did again. Your yarn over, go into that space, pull up a loop, pull through only 2, yarn over, go back to that big space, pull up a loop, pull through only 2, 3 loops on your hook, pull through all 3 loops. And those are the 2 kinds of V-stitches that you'll be going in between. The double crochet decrease V-stitch, and then the regular double crochet V-stitch. Both of them have a chain 3 in the middle. So going right into your next big space here, now we're doing our double crochet V-stitch. So do a double crochet, chain 3, and then double crochet all into that one big space right there. So our next big space is going to be our corner. And how you work your corners is you're going to start off by doing what you did last time. There's only one difference. So you'll yarn over, go into that big corner space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and you'll do that again. Yarn over, go into that big old space, pull up a loop, only pull through 2, then 3 loops on your hook, pull through all 3 loops. So far it's the same. This time you want to do a chain of 5 though, instead of a chain of 3. So chain 5 and then turn your work. Continuing to work in this big corner space, you're going to do the other part of your V-stitch, your double crochet V-stitch. So yarn over, go into the big space, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the big space, pull up a loop, pull through 2, 3 loops on your hook, pull through all 3 loops. And that's how you do your corner. Now you'll continue. This time you're going to be skipping every other one and putting the regular stitch in it. So I just did the double crochet V-stitch, double crochet decrease V-stitch. So now I'm just going to be doing a double crochet decrease. So skip one and go into the next one. Put your double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. Skip the next one, and then the following hole you'll put your double crochet decrease V-stitch. Chain 3, then finish your V-stitch, double crochet V-stitch, pull through all 3. Skip one, and then the next one do a regular V-stitch. Chain 3, then again skip the next, and then on the following one you'll do your double crochet decrease. Oops, I pulled through 2 by accident. This is a double crochet decrease one. So chain 3, in that same space you'll do your double crochet decrease again. Okay, 3 loops on your hook, pull through all 3 loops, and then skip one, and here the very next big space you'll do your double crochet V-stitch. To continue around, then you would just do in the very next stitch your double crochet decrease corner, and then you'll continue down your row. So I'm going to do that one real quick. Three, 4, 5. And then you'll be going back up through these stitches. So continue with your decrease, your double crochet V-stitch right after your double crochet corner here. Then skip the next, go to the next and do your double crochet decrease V-stitch. And then the following, do your double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. Then when you have your very last stitch here on the end, to end it you'll chain 3, actually chain 2, because your third chain can be the slip stitch. So chain 2, find that very first stitch there in the corner and slip stitch, and then that will end your first row. Okay, for the second row you want to chain 1. You can cut your yarn and change your color if you like. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch in that first chain 3. I'm going to chain 1, and then in this first chain 3 If this is a double crochet V-stitch, then you want a single crochet into that. Then chain 2. Now working in your first double crochet decrease V-stitch, you want to work a double crochet and then chain 5, and then in this very first chain that we did, you want to slip stitch into that chain and then to the loop on your hook. So you want to do a slip stitch using that very first chain, and that's how you'll do your picot stitch. If it's too big, then you can do a chain of 3, but I really liked mine to be very noticeable, so I did a chain of 5. So yarn over, go into that same V-stitch again, because you'll be doing 5 of these double crochet picot. So do a double crochet, then chain 5 or chain 3 if you prefer. I'm going to do a chain of 5, and I'm slip stitching in that very first chain and then through the loop on my hook, and that's 2 now. I need to do a total of 5. Yarn over, do a double crochet again in that same space, chain 5, slip stitch using the first chain and the loop on your hook. Oh. Two, 3, 4, and 5. So that is 4. So I need 1 more. Double crochet, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now we have our 5 double crochets and picots right in the very first double crochet decrease V-stitch. Now we have our double crochet V-stitch here. So on the chain 2, on the chain 3 here, in between we're going to be chaining 2. Yes, so first you want to chain 2, then you want to find that chain 3 in between your double crochet V-stitch and do a single crochet. Then you'll chain 2 again, and then you'll be repeating. Okay, when you come to a corner, there'll always be the double crochet decrease V-stitch one, and on the corners you'll be working a total of 7. So instead of the normal 5, you'll just be working 7 instead. So the corners aren't so hard. So remember, you want to do a total of 7 double crochets and picots here. Do 5. So I'm going to go ahead and work this to continue after. I'm going to do this one real quick off camera. Okay, I just did my 7. Now I want to chain 2 and single crochet in the next V-stitch, then chain 2 and move over to my next one. You're only going to be doing single crochets in your regular double crochet decrease. Double crochet V-stitches. You're going to be working your double crochet and picot stitches in the V-stitches that you use double crochet decreases to make. So, and don't forget, you'll be chaining 2 after your double crochet picots, and then single crocheting, and then double crochet. Chain 2 before you start your next set of double crochet picots. So this is not on a corner, so I'm only going to need 5 double crochet picots in this stitch, and you want to continue to work this all the way around. It's really easy, and this is only a 2-row border. So after this one, you're done. That's 4. I need 1 more. Okay, then again after my 5, I'll chain 2, find my double crochet V-stitch to single crochet in, chain 2, and then you'll continue your picot just the same. And you'll continue that all the way around until you get back up to your beginning again. So that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this pattern and tutorial. If you did, please don't forget to like and share and comment down below. It really helps me out so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to subscribe. And if you want to always be notified whenever I release a new tutorial, just click that little bell button beside the subscribe button to always be notified whenever I release a new tutorial. Also, if you're wondering what kind of hook this is a furls crochet hook, wooden crochet hook. You can find the link to get your own down below this video. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Crochet for the Masses, where we share free pattern links and pictures of things that we've been making lately. I also started another group called Crochet Zone Public, where designers will share their links to their newest patterns and stuff. So go there and check it out. Be kind, share the designers, help us keep doing what we do. So that's it, guys. Thank you so very much for watching.